Do you use trekking poles on your Camino? That's our topic today. Come along and join the discussion. There are many beneficial reasons for using trekking poles, but I'm going to just highlight two of the most important ones. First of all, they give you better stability. Like a cat, you have 4 points of balance on the ground. This could save you from a really bad fall. With a full backpack, your center of gravity is much higher. When you get off balance, the extra weight can slam you down to the ground in an instant. Having that pole as a point of stability can give you the necessary leverage to regain your balance and avoid a nasty fall. Reason number 2 is they allow you to put less stress on your joints. Since hiking is a weight-bearing activity, the joints that are impacted the most are your ankles and your knees. Using trekking poles will shift some of that weight from your ankles and knees up to your arms and shoulders. It also exercises your upper body and arms. By using your arms, you will increase the circulation of blood, which keeps your hands from swelling from blood accumulation. Next, let's talk about the various trekking poles. The ones that I use are Lucky, but Black Diamond, Mountain Smith, and any of the other major manufacturers are all good. Just make sure that they are adjustable, foldable, provide some sort of shock absorption, and have a weight and locking mechanism. I like my Luckies because they double as my ski poles in the winter. I work ski patrol here in Northern California, so they're with me every day. They're an extension of my arm. In the summertime, I just need to take off the snow basket part, and this is kind of hard. I'm gonna go get my husband Mark to help me out with this. I'll be right back. Hey Mark, would you help me get this basket off?
Sure.
Oh, that was too easy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now that the basket is off, let's talk about the tip. It's made of carbide and has a very sharp point to dig into the ground so you can get a secure pole plant. But if you're walking on the cement or pavement, all you're going to do is annoy yourself and your fellow pilgrims with all that noise you're making. The solution? Put a rubber tip on. Very easy. All you do is just put it on the top, slide it on. There you go. The rubber tip is on. Now we need to talk about the handles. Believe it or not, there is a left and a right. It has nothing to do with the pole itself. It has to do with the handle. On the strap, you're going to see somewhere on here. Oh, there it is. That one says right, but it's really hard to find when you're, just looking around. So what I have done is on the right one, I have an R, I painted that on, and then the left one I have an L. So I can very quickly look at it and go, oh, that's right, that's left, okay. Now, the way to get into the pole is you want to slide your hand up and then grip the pole, just like that. Now, don't ever go in this way, and I'll tell you the reason why. First of all, if you were to fall and you let go of your pole's going to stay in your hand. And if you fall on your hand, that could potentially injure your hand, dislocate your thumb or break a bone or your wrist or something. But if you have come in the proper way from underneath and you grab your pole, when you fall and let go of your pole, it leaves your hand. And so now you have a hand to brace yourself and you're not going to interfere with the pole. So make sure that when you put your poles on, you come in from the underside and then grab it. Another thing I really like about these Lecky poles is that they have 3 points of release, and it's strung together on a cable like an avalanche probe. And basically you just unhook it and pull them down, hook everything together, and then lock it down. And now you've got a solid pole. How long should your pole be? Well, when you have your hand properly in the grip and you place it on the ground, you should have your elbow at about a 90-degree angle. If it's not, just unhook it, pull it down a little bit, and see if that's better. When you're going downhill, you're probably going to want them a little bit longer so you can reach out in front of you. On the other hand, when you're going uphill, you might want it a little shorter. So get a pole that is easily adjustable, because it really makes a difference to have your poles the right length. Now that we have the basics down, it's time to go outside and give it a try. Come on. Hello and welcome to my training ground. This is a little park down the street. No, it's a big park down the street from where I live in Northern California. I love to train here because it has level ground, and then there's some ups and some downs, and so it's just a really good park to do some training for my Camino walking pre-season. Anyway, we talked about the physical aspects of the poles, the tips, the handles, and so forth, but we didn't really talk about how to adjust the grip. So let me show you very quickly. First of all, you pull up on one strap, and that releases it, and then you just pull down on the other strap, and that will tighten it or allow you to loosen it. So you want to get it tight enough so that when you put your hand in there, it just kind of cradles your thumb and the bottom side of your hand. So because that grip is so snug, so comfortable, when you plant your pole, you don't have to really grasp on to the hand grip to get a good purchase. You just kind of relax the hand and it goes with it. Have you ever thought about what your hands do when you walk? Well, watch me. I'm going to just walk down a little ways and then come back and take a look at my hands. Okay, here I go. So what happened was, when my left leg went forward, my weight shifted off of my right leg onto my left leg, and then my right arm went forward in compensation for that weight shift. And then the opposite happened when I took a step with my right leg. The weight from my left leg shifted to the right leg, and so my left arm came forward to once again compensate for that shift in weight. Yeah, a lot to think about. We don't really think about that stuff. It just kind of happens, but that's the natural way we walk. And that's what we do with our poles. Same thing. So when our left leg goes forward, we're going to plant our right pole. And when our right leg goes forward, we're going to plant our left pole. Just like that. So you're wondering, where do you plant the pole on the ground? Well, it should be just about even with your foot. You don't want it to be too far up or too far back. So when you're just walking on level ground, it's about even with your foot, right in the middle of your foot. You know, the frog looked at the centipede with all of these hundreds of legs and said to it, "How do you do that? How do you walk with all those legs?" And the centipede thought about it for a minute, and he couldn't walk. He went going around in circles and circles. And it's the same thing with walking with poles. You don't really think about it. You just kind of do it. So now that we have that arm swing thing figured out, we're going to put some poles to the hands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk down this path right here, and I'm going to start off by just dragging my poles behind me. And then gradually, as I get going, notice how I'm going to start picking up my poles and they're going to get into a rhythm. Okay, so here we go. And that's how it works. Now that we have the rhythm down with our poles and our arm swing, it's time to actually put the poles into real use. Now, if you're using them properly, they're going to take a lot of weight off of your knees and your ankles. Think about it this way. If you're standing on your bathroom scales, you look down, you see how much you weigh. Now take your poles and push them down on the ground. Notice how the scale goes down. Yeah, you're taking weight off of your ankles, knees, legs, hips. So that's what we're doing when we're using our poles properly. So the motion is to push down and back. So it's down and back, just like in cross-country skiing. So notice how I walk this time. When I get some purchase of the ground with my pole, it's a downward push. And I'm not really gripping the handle very tight. All of the weight is going pretty much on my strap that's cradling my hand. So there's not too much tension in my hands. My hands are pretty free, pretty loose. So watch, down and back. Here I go. I have a little bit of a ditch here that I'm going to navigate using my poles, and watch how I use my poles in front of me when I'm going down, and then I use them behind me to help push me up to the other side of the bank. Okay, watch this. Did you catch it? Bella, Bella, come. Bella, come. Come, Bella. Come, Bella. Good girl. How about for your musical selection today, something that'll get you in the mood for walking a Camino. It's a Galician folk tune called At the Gate. And just think about all those Caminos you've walked in, all those gates that you've had to open and close. This will get you ready for your next Camino. hope this video has been helpful for you. If not just plain old entertaining, I had a good time doing it. So until we see again, buen camino.